Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is my 2024 Audi RS3, and in this video I'm going to go over why this car was a huge mistake. I honestly think that trading in my Golf R for this car was a huge mistake, not only financially but just in the value with what you're getting. I'm going to do a quick little walk around. It's a little windy out today. We're going to go for a drive. I'm going to go over all my thoughts that's kind of running through my head right now, but let's go and look around it. This is Kimura Gray Metallic. Sorry, my shadow's kind of in the way right now. I special ordered this color here. I'll go over all the options and stuff in a separate video. This is just going to be focused on why I think that this was a big mistake. It's dirty right now. I had the dealership not clean it because this car, I got it the same day it came off the truck, so no one's touched it, no one's touched the paint. I wanted to try to keep it as best as possible. Yeah, there it is, Audi RS3. I'm sure you guys have probably already seen an RS3 before because they came out in 2022, so it's nothing new, but it's definitely a great car, but I don't think it's worth it over a Golf R. But let's go and hop inside and let's see why. If you guys have followed my videos before, you guys know I'm a very upfront, honest, and straightforward person. If I'm wrong, if I'm incorrect, if I've made a mistake, I will 100% own up to it. And buying this car was a huge mistake. Now, there's a possibility that the longer I have it, the more I might fall in love with it, but trading in my Golf R for the amount of money I had to come out of pocket to get into this car, it just definitely wasn't worth it. And honestly, I think even new MSRP to MSRP, I don't know if the $20,000 is worth it. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. But the first reason, this interior feels way more cramped than the Golf R does. So I'm a really tall guy, I'm 6'6". This interior feels kind of cramped. Like, I can fit in here fine, but the transmission tunnel right here kind of comes out kind of far, so it's kind of like hitting the side of my knee here, whereas the Golf R was a little further over, so I had more room to like move around my knees. The B pillar is like right next to my head. The Golf R seemed like the B pillar was a little bit further back, and then the windows were a lot bigger on the Golf R. They weren't so narrow. Like, you see how narrow this window is? It's almost like the size of my hand. So the windows are kind of narrow in this car. The visibility is not the greatest. This car has a sunroof, so my head is literally like this close to the top of the car. And if I go over any sort of bump in the road, oh, we're gonna take this corner real quick. It does handle very good. I mean, it is a great car. But anyway, if I go over any sort of bump in the road, if I stretch or whatever, I end up touching the top of the roof here since I'm so tall. So having the sunroof really sucks with my headroom. My Golf R, if you guys don't know, was a 20th anniversary, so it didn't have a sunroof, so there was just headroom for days in that car. And then the shape of it, it's kind of egg-shaped, provided great headroom. So it had more headroom. This area was better. The doors, like, I know the Audi tried to do like some cool design for the doors, like having all these like trapezoidal shapes and stuff, but this door handle kind of comes out kind of far right here. The Golf R, the door handle is more like, it was kind of further, like the door panel itself was just further away from you. It's not like all up in your area. Like this car, just getting out of it's kind of awkward. The Golf R had a normal like door handle. This car, you have to kind of go under, and it just feels kind of weird to open the door with this one. The window controls are so far back. Like my Golf R, the window controls are at a nice, and again, I'm a tall guy, so maybe it's different for people that are shorter than me, but the window controls in the Golf R, they're at perfect length where I can just put my hand down like this and then roll down the driver's side window or whatever. This car, the window controls are so far back that I have to look down and then I have to like twist my arm like this to roll down the window. And I know this is gonna sound like really nitpicky stuff. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people that hate on me in this video. Like, oh, you're driving an RS3 and you're complaining, blah, blah, blah. I completely understand that, but you know, when I traded in a perfectly good car, my Golf R had 16,000 miles and it was perfect. Few rock chips and stuff, but it was literally perfect. And I traded it in for this car, and I honestly don't feel like I got my money's worth. I really don't. Now, maybe if I would have bought this car from the beginning, maybe, but then again, like, I love my Golf R. The 5-cylinder engine sounds cool, so we're gonna get on it a little bit here. We have 213 miles, but whatever, we're just gonna, you know, have fun with it anyway. So one thing that's really weird about this car, the shifts, they sound really good. That part I like better than the Golf R. The shifts sound really good. But the transmission, I don't know if it's a transmission thing or if it's related to just the way the engine makes power, but I'll be like half throttle, like accelerating. It'll like accelerate pretty quick and then it'll shift gears and it'll fall on its face. Then it'll get back in the power again, shift gears and fall on its face. Like the Golf R was like consistent power. Again, I don't know if that's because the RS3 has a pretty big turbo and it's just a bunch of turbo lag or something, but like, I don't know, like it doesn't pull that hard from low RPM at all. I like cars that have low end torque. My BMW M2 is great, has plenty of low end torque. My Golf R had good low end torque, even though the GTI that I had prior was slightly better with like the low end. This one is just like, it's almost like you have a naturally aspirated engine with how you have to wait till like 4,000 RPMs for it to like go. And another thing, as far as like the performance, I got on it a few times already. Now, I understand that my Golf R was tuned, but this car does not really feel that much faster than my Golf R, if at all. And when my Golf R was on E85, honestly, it felt faster than this. And I understand not everything's about straight line speed and all that, but my Golf R on E85 felt faster than this car. I didn't even have the transmission tune. So, you know, that's a little disappointing. I really do miss the hatchback space because the trunk in these cars, like, it's pretty deep, but it's so small. Like, you have like this much height in the trunk. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. Like, your height, like, it just, there's not a lot of room in this car at all. You know, the rear seat headroom is terrible too. Like the Golf R had a, you know, again, the egg shape. So when I sat in the back, if I moved the front seat forward, I could sit in the back and my head doesn't touch the top. Not that I ever really need to sit in the back, but I just liked having that extra space. And then the Golf R, when I would open up the rear door, like, since again, the way the shape was and has bigger windows, bigger doors and stuff, there's just more room to access the back too. Like if I need to open it and grab something out of the back seat. Another thing, the Golf R had actual real exhaust tips. This one has like little oval cutouts, which all RS cars do. But the Golf R had real exhaust tips. You know, it had the quad tip exhaust. The Golf R made pops in the exhaust. This one makes cool sounds when it shifts gears, which I really like. But the Golf R did pops and stuff with the exhaust on the stock tune. Now I understand you can tune any car to have burbles or whatever, but the Golf R had the pops on the stock tune. I really like the way the Golf R looks. Like this car, it looks cool, don't get me wrong, but it can be mistaken for like a Volkswagen Jetta, you know? Ambient lighting in the Golf R was much more comprehensive. It lit up this area, it was much more customizable. And I know you might be thinking like in the comments like, oh, why'd you trade it in then? You shouldn't have traded it in. I understand that now. You know, obviously we all make mistakes. I can't bring the car back. You know, it's not like, you know, you buy a toy at Walmart and you bring it back. You know, it's a car. Once you buy it, you sign the paperwork, it's yours. You don't just bring it back. So I'm kind of screwed. I'm kind of stuck in this car, but I'll drive it. I'll have fun with it. And, you know, the Golf R I planned on keeping long term. This car, I'm going to tell you up front, I don't really plan on keeping this car long term unless I just somehow fall in love with it later. Because right now it's like, yeah, it's cool, it sounds cool, but it's not much faster than the Golf R, if at all. It has way less practicality. It has this stupid sunroof, which I don't like, because the sun can still shine through this like mesh part right here. So it's not like fully blacked out either. And then again, like I said, visibility. There's just a lot of things that kind of add up to like this being not a good decision to trade in the Golf R on this car. Now, there are some benefits with this car too. Obviously the biggest one being the inline 5. If you guys stuck through this whole entire video, I want to treat you guys with a draggy test because, like I said, I want to confirm my suspicions that this car is not faster than my Golf R. At least with the Stage 1 91 tune or the E85 tune. Stock for stock, it feels faster than the Golf R, yes. But since mine was tuned, this car doesn't feel faster. But let's go and get our draggy going right now. By the way, guys, it is 100 degrees outside, so this is going to be a horrible time. But I did run my Golf R in the heat as well, so I kind of know what it did in the heat. And my Golf R didn't launch very well on the E85 tune because, again, no transmission tune and stuff like that. But we're going to see if this car, like, I'll be surprised if this car even gets like a 12.3 in the quarter mile. because again, our Vegas conditions, well, this is gonna be shot in Mexico, but normally I live in Vegas and the conditions are horrible. Bad elevation, 2,500 to 3,000 feet, bad elevation, bad DA, bad temperatures, 91 gas. So it's basically a recipe for the car to be slow. But we're gonna see what the RS3 can do. That honestly didn't even feel that quick. I mean, again, 95 degrees out, but like when I drove the Golf R for the first time, it felt fast when I did the launch control and stuff. This car doesn't even feel that fast. And I understand it's a stock RS3, but it's supposed to make 400 horsepower. All right, let's see what it did. Yeah, see, I guessed it right. I'm pretty good at guessing performance by the way the car feels. It did a 12.3 quarter-mile time. That's terrible. At 111 miles an hour, so my suspicions were correct. My Golf R on 85 is faster than this. That is so depressing. I'm just gonna blame it on the bad weather, and I'm gonna blame it on the fact that it's still in braking period. This car, according to Car and Driver, is supposed to do I think they said what, like 11.6 or 11.6 at 117. Not even close. 5,700 feet DA. I'm just hoping that, you know, once it gets broken in, that it gets a little faster. Maybe some different gas, maybe some better weather, and some hopes and prayers, and the car will do better. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. I'm sorry for it being kind of a negative type video. I just had to share my honest thoughts. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.